I'm Jen Irwin. I'm our Director of HR. And then here we have Brad Davidson, Director of Business Development, and then Chris Harrison. He is our Director of Operations. So a couple housekeeping things before we get started. Up there on that top section there is a Q&A. Throughout this experience, we'd like it to be interactive, so just go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. And towards the end of it, that's when we'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A. So starting out, welcome everybody to our Beyond Transactions. This is going to be our sales leader panel and having a really engaging discussion. So kind of starting out, I'd like to open it up to just our first leader, so Brad Davidson. So Brad, let's face it, this is a really competitive environment, and so there's lots of very similar solutions. So I'm curious, how do payment industry professionals stay competitive in this environment?
I hear from merchants all the time that, everybody does the same thing, right? They have maybe a slightly different product, a slightly different terminal. But at the end of the day, I think one of the main ways to stay competitive is your customer support. Most merchants sign a deal with their sales rep and they're never heard from again. They haven't seen them in 5 years. Um, so, in my opinion, that's the best way to stay competitive in this industry.
Mm, fantastic. Okay. But how do you cultivate these relationships when your days are filled with proposal, presentation, chasing down leads?
Yeah, it's just constant communication. We all know that managing a portfolio is the most demanding thing on the planet, in my opinion,
Mhm.
especially when you're concurrently trying to build your portfolio, right? Um, it's tough to balance that. So, just building that trust with merchants, answering the phone, being available, um, in my opinion, best way to build those relationships and build the trust.
Mm, fantastic. And so I think that's where Cygnus Elevate comes in. So that's going to be that innovative program that's designed to empower our sales agents and give kind of a few more details. Chris, I know that we have some notes here, but tell us a little bit more about Cygnus Elevate. And towards the end, Brad, feel free to jump in there as well.
Sure. So, like most of us on this call, I've been in this industry for a long time, and everybody talks about rates.
Mm.
The first thing people want to talk about, and they talk about functionality. Technology is what it is today. If you don't have it, you don't have it. And it's not hard for everybody to have state of the art or best in class technology. But the differentiator in today's fintech world are two things, and Brad already hit on one of them. One of them is support. Oh my God, sorry about that. Apologies. Um, One of them is support. As you scale up your business, as you scale up your ability to deliver services to 3,000 to 5,000 to 10,000 merchants, the first thing that gets left behind is this right here: a face that you can talk to, a person you can talk to on the phone. Someone will pick up the phone and support you. And to carry on to the support that's out there, if you leave that in place, people will remember that. But the Elevate program is a way for the folks that are out there that are really good salespeople or people that have a great network and can board lots of merchants for you to want to take their business to the next level. Many of us who carried a bag back in the day and sold merchant services had aspirations of being bigger and being better. But
Mhm.
what's really hard is all that other stuff in the back. What's the biggest thing the salesperson hates doing? They hate doing paperwork. They hate doing back office tasks. They don't have support. If you're just an agent out there, you feel like you don't have any support in the world. The Elevate program gives you the ability to take care of all that stuff and let you do what you do best without having to go out and get a bank loan for $500,000 to go get an office and hire staff and that's assuming you have a plan in the first place. The Elevate program brings you a plan. It gives you everything you need from tech support to sales support to the essentials like chargeback disputes and somebody who's going to pick up the phone and say, "Hey, this is Chris Harrison's Merchant Services Processing. How can I help you?" It gives you a real leg up if you want to take the next step to an ISO. Our founder did this. Our founder started out just as a sales rep. He went through a big company, left that company, and then started his own company and built it from the ground up. He says, "Hey, I don't want you guys to have to do that. You want to do what we did and become a full service provider? Let me show you how to do that without having to go through the trouble that we did for 8 years." Pretty successful company because of it.
Yeah, I
Okay, thank
completely
you.
agree, Chris. Sorry, Jen.
Oh, go right
Um,
ahead.
I think the biggest question that Elevate answers is, for all of those ambitious agents out there that are looking to grow and actually build an ISO, is where's the time? Where's the time to do it, right? When you're building a portfolio, you're managing a portfolio, there's no time to do the extra stuff, getting in touch with the banks, figuring out how you're going to do underwriting, risk management, supporting all of your merchants, bringing on additional agents, getting them trained, right? All of those things fall under a category of there's no time to do it, right? Um, and so that's what Cygnus Elevate is going to facilitate, right? We know that that growth is something that everyone, for the most part, desires, right? How do we get bigger? How do we grow this thing? It's lucrative. We love it. We love the sales, but we want to do something bigger. Um, so that's where the Elevate program comes into place, right? We want to facilitate that growth for an agent to become an ISO, right? We want to facilitate all the documents that need filled out and um, turned in to the bank and facilitating the structure, the infrastructure that's needed to become an ISO.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, kind of what I'm hearing from both of you is Elevate helps with a couple things. So, first of all, it's building that support, it's helping to relieve some of the administrative burden ends of things. As you both have shared, our sales folks are very busy. So, one of the additional goals of Cygnus Elevate to remove some of or well assist with some of those back end processes. So one of another element is our Cygnus concierge service. So I'd love both of you one after the other to share a little bit about our concierge services.
Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, absolutely. So the concierge program is a part of the Elevate program, right? We want to take all of that back end busy work, in my opinion, right? Doing the administration things, putting in applications, your tech support, your customer support, um, you know back office sort of duties, right? um, you grow to an ISO, you want to have someone, you want your merchants to call someone that's going to say, "Hey, this is ABC processing," right? To Chris's point. And, that's what Cygnus Concierge is going to do for that ambitious agent, right? It's going to take
Mm.
that weight off of their back so that they can get out there and continue to build and, you know, add accounts to their portfolio and continue to grow.
So when you think of building an ISO or a full service processor, the word turnkey solution has never crossed anybody's mind in my experience. Turnkey solution is something that gets applied to a smaller endeavor. That's what the concierge service and the Elevate program provide for you. They provide you a turnkey solution so that you can focus on growing your business and you can have instant support and instant company. And now you can focus on doing what? Obviously recruiting merchants and partners, but also recruiting salespeople. Build your business, have a turnkey solution that handles just what Brad said, the things in the background that need to be done. Customer calls need to be answered. I'm sure everybody on this call knows what it's like to do everything, to be the jack of all
Mhm.
trades. That's the bane of small business in this country is you start up and you do it all yourself. You know how to do it. You're a SME, you're a subject matter expert in your industry. You know how to take care of customer complaints, you know how to bill people, you know how to do the actual job, you know how to support it, fix it, and troubleshoot it. Well, how about sticking with this fun stuff and let somebody else handle the back office, let somebody else handle the support things that you need to do. You'll still have your hand in it, but now you've got the support that you need. You want to take your business to the next level? This is the way to do it. And honestly, I've seen other programs out there, but they don't come anywhere close to what this program offers you
Yeah, I
yet.
think that's a really great point.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, Chris, that's being a jack of all trades, right? You do everything yourself. So the concierge program is also going to facilitate website design, marketing material, right? Just another couple of those things that nobody really has time to do. Um, when you're out there acquiring merchants and your team is doing the exact same thing, right? You're either going to hire a support staff to do it, right? But then when you're the big man on campus and you're calling all the shots, even when you hire internal staff to do those things, for one, it's going to get expensive. For two, you're still going to want to be right there in the mix to make sure that things are going, you know, in the direction that you want them to go. And
100%.
Cygnus Concierge is going to allow you to, put the plan in place and let us take it from there, right?
It's all about execution.
Yeah, that's here's what I'm hearing from both of you is it's helping to build trust. It's also helping to strengthen the merchant relationship. So they're able to, because we're supporting them on back end administrative things through this program, they're able to spend more time with their merchant, building that trust, building a sense of loyalty, getting to know, just building that relationship, honestly. And so, also, Brad, I'd like you to hear about how this also helps them close more deals. Because really, as sales folks, we really want to close deals. So, can you help our attendees understand how this will support them in closing more deals?
Yeah, so I think that a couple of different ways. Jen, to your point, having the bandwidth to continue to hold on to that trust and that support,
Mhm.
I think that's a problem that no matter the industry, right? Anyone that is looking to grow and looking to
Mhm.
expand, that's a task that is in front of them. How do we grow and not sacrifice our service level? How do we grow and expand and not sacrifice the service that we're currently able to give to all of our clients and customers, where we're still a mom and pop shop? They're getting direct contact. They're getting um, their needs met as soon as possible, right? They don't have to call in and get go through a 30-minute prompt like you do with, oh my gosh, Spectrum, right? Worst one. It might be a half hour before you talk to a person there. So number one, in this industry specifically, it's all about your reputation.
Mhm.
Once you're in your market and your reputation starts to drop, it's not a good thing, right? It makes it a lot harder to build when you don't have good things being said about you. So, in my book, that's number one. Now, becoming a registered ISO, you're also going to have, you know, better pricing, right? So in turn, you're able to pass that better pricing onto your merchants. Um, I think that's a big one as well.
Um, Brad, that was huge what you said about having a reputation. But you know what's even better than having people not say bad things about you? Having people say good things about you.
Yeah.
The boarding experience for merchants with this program. People want things to happen smoothly. They don't want friction. We don't want friction between our partners and us or between our merchants and our partners and us. And this program allows you to reduce friction. And now people start to say, Man, that was a pretty cool experience. This has been pretty easy. Hey, I have access to a lot of information through these guys over here. They've really got their act together. So reputation, listen, we're all probably pretty good at what we do. We probably don't have a lot of people saying bad things about us, but how many people can when I get a customer that comes back to me and says, Chris, you're the reason that I'm here with this company right now. That's huge. And that's, that validates you. This is what this program can do in terms of reputation building. You can I called you guys may remember the a lot of people on this call may remember the all hands meeting we had yesterday. I don't know if any of you on this call know that, but I called every one of you that attended that meeting. I at least tried to get on the phone with you. I spoke to one of our top producers. I won't say his name, just to respect his privacy, but he said he wasn't sure if he could make the call. You know why? Because he had 5 installations to do today, and he wasn't sure if he could get them done. Now, I'm not saying that the concierge program does installations for you, but can you imagine all the time he would have left if he had somebody handling his back office for him, if he had somebody managing a lot of the business processes? I'm just saying that was great that he had 5 installations to do. I'm really happy. I hope all of you have 5 installations to do every day. But imagine how much more time you'll have to sell in a program like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's build a little more on that reputation, right? Um, how do you establish a reputation without a brand, right? So many merchants out there, they get their statement. What is it? It says merchant statement on it, right? Um, so they go to access their portal. It's got the big guy's name on there, right? Who's TSYS, right? Um, so that's another thing that the program's going to do, right? It's going to help you to build your brand. We want to do custom branding for you. You're going to have your name, your logo on your statements. You're going to have, your merchant portals custom branded. They're not going to go to Cygnus .crm.com, right? They're going to go to Chris Harrison Merchant Services .portal.com, right? Um, they're never going to see our name. They're going to know who their provider is, right? So that you can build that brand recognition, and I think that's where the reputation falls right along with it. If they don't know who their provider is, um, how do you build a reputation there, right?
100%. Great call out, Brad.
Yeah, so the next thing I'd like to do is kind of transition to our Q&A portion of this. So got a couple questions in here. So I'm thinking just what I'm seeing as far as any overlapping questions is one of the first ones we have is it sounds like a very exciting program. Oftentimes sales vets don't maybe trust anyone else to handle supporting their merchants. How can Elevate Concierge alleviate some of these concerns?
Maybe we could get some clarification on that. When they say they don't trust anybody else, are we saying that you want to be handling it yourself and you want to have us help route calls to you? Or I'm not sure if I need a
Yeah, I
little
think the
clarification
sense I'm
about.
getting from the question is maybe on the administrative side. So, especially for our small business owners, they've been handling the back end, the front end, all of the above. So, how can Elevate show that we are a trusted partner? Because caring for their merchants that they've been doing it a long time, it can be nerve-wracking to give over a little bit of power.
You want to try that, Brad, or do you want me to
Yeah,
jump
look,
in?
I get it, right? I've been in the direct line of fire when it comes to merchants. You want to know that your merchants are being taken care of, right? And in the name of growth and expanding, it's a necessary thing. Sometimes you have to um, trust that your merchants are still going to be taken care of, even though it might not be in that the same exact way that you would, right? And I think there's some ways that we can definitely work together with our ISOs to make sure that their merchants are being taken care of in a timely fashion, and the help desk tickets are going to come in. You're going to be able to see, who's calling, what did they call for, how are the, what was the issue resolved, right? And that's a good question, right? Because at some point you do have to put that trust out there, right? And trust that they're going to be taken care of.
And to that point, throwing around statistics is nice, but we have over 3,000 merchants and in excess of $2 billion a year in processing. And there's always going to be churn in this industry. There's no way to stop it. We have a pretty decent retention rate. That's not because we have better technology than somebody else. It's not because of anything except taking care of the customers. We have a fantastic support team. We have support based in the United States. We have technical support overseas, but we provide all of our own support. We don't outsource our support, and I think those numbers speak to maybe maybe helping to alleviate the concern you might have of offloading that. And as Brad said, at some point you do have to let go of things. That's what our founders did when they built the company. They realized they couldn't keep doing this or they weren't going to grow. They would make a decent
Right.
living at the customers they had, but if you want to grow beyond that point, you really need to learn to let go. That's just a basic fact of life. Parents have to do it with their children. Small businesses have to do it with their customers. You eventually have to find good solutions, do your homework, and start to spread out the responsibilities. And I think we're doing a pretty good job of it. I think our numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And there's also, this program is going to be customized to you, right? Um, if you're anything like me as a sales agent, all of my merchants have my cell phone number, right? If I can take care of it, I'll take care of it. If it's something that I need to pass along, right? And slowly but surely, you get more and more comfortable. Like, okay, these guys got it. You know what I mean? Um, rather than having that mindset of I have to do it myself, right? And I get it.
Been
I'm
there,
one of
done
those
that.
people, right? You want something done right, you do it yourself. Like I know. Um, but yeah, it's to your point, Chris. When you're looking to grow, um, you've got to at some point pass something off, right? And I think our support team is best in the industry. Um, and there's always that transition period, right? Um, that's personally that's the scariest time, right? But as you have more issues come in, more issues get handled, you're like, okay, you know no big deal.
Mhm. Yeah.
You want to
Yeah,
go to
those
the
are
next
all.
question, Jen?
Yes, of course. All really good things that both of you have shared. The last one we have in here is if our attendees are hearing this and they say, this sounds incredible. How do I get registered? How do I engage? What's the registration process as they want to subscribe to Cygnus Elevate?
Yeah, absolutely. So you will reach out to me and we can set up a call. What I really want to do is where the our program is so vast, right? It has a direction, right? It's all going to one place, but there's a lot of in between there. So what we want to do, we want to get on a call. We want to make sure that we know what your goals are, right? Hey, we want to become an ISO. This is the track that we want to take to get there, and we'll have a discussion and we'll figure it out. We'll make sure that we're all on the same page, right? And we'll show you how to facilitate it, and we'll get you there. So yeah, first step, reaching out to me. Jen, did you say you had my contact information? I don't know if you had it
Yep.
to display.
I'll drop it in
Um,
the chat.
you send me an email anytime, give me a phone call as well. Um, and we'll be happy to set something up with you and get the conversation rolling.
Well,
Absolutely.
perfect. Okay, so
Jen,
just
there
double
was another
checking.
question in here. There's another
Uh,
question in here. It's how can Cygnus Elevate's turnkey solution for ISOs streamline the back-end processes and enhance the value of our concierge services to provide a seamless experience for our clients? We've been
mhm,
talking to that through most of this call, but as an example, all the places you need to be as an agent or an ISO are in our portal. We will, when we finally built the whole thing out here very shortly, you'll be able to check your residuals. You'll be able to go to Iris, to board clients, board merchants. You'll be able to access our entire document repository. It's categorized in all the areas that you need to go find your documents. You've got your applications. You've got everything you need in one spot. You don't have to go for here and create your own system to file things. So it's streamlined to the point that everything can happen in the back in the portal. All of our processes are up to date. They're not. We don't use paper anymore. We don't use you don't need to actually talk to somebody if you don't want to. You can get everything done automatically. So it's going to streamline the entire process of building your own ISO.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point. So as we're coming to the end of our call here, a couple things. So thank you again so much for our attendee joining in today. We hope you found some valuable insights. And then the second thing I want to share is I'd like some closing thoughts from both of you. So Brad, do you want to share some closing thoughts before we finish out?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. First off, we appreciate everyone that attended a call. This was our first one, so of course we didn't know how it was going to turn out, but we're glad you were able to attend. Everything, I think, went pretty smoothly. So, thank you for attending. I think that really my closing thoughts are that we depend on our partners, right? And Cygnus understands the difficulty in navigating that transition in growth and expansion. And we know that when our partners succeed, we succeed, right? And so why would we not share what we have and facilitate that for others and make it a much smoother process on them, right? And so that's the entire foundation of Cygnus Elevate and Cygnus Concierge is like, hey, we went through it in a very um, up and down, rocky way, right? We had to figure it out. So we want to streamline it for you. If you want to grow, get in touch with us, and we're here to help.
Let me leave you with this thought. We're all here to make money. It's a business. But there's something more here. This is our way to pay it forward. Our founders truly believe in the vision of helping people get to where we got much easier. And this is a great tool to do it. Does it help our business? Of course it does. But we also have a sense of community and a sense of responsibility to our community. And this is truly a way to pay it forward. It's really something you should look into if you want to elevate yourself beyond being an agent. And there's nothing wrong with being an agent. We love having you as an agent. We'd love to see you become an ISO. We'd love you to see do exactly what we did and get bigger than us someday. How awesome would that be?
That would be really great. Well, Brad, Chris, thank you so much for joining the call today, and we will be talking to you all soon. Keep an eye out on an email for a survey coming through as well, okay? Thanks everyone so much. Have a good day.